Okay, guys, it's time to talk about the one that people have been asking for since the day it came out. We're talking about Bone Island, and
The island.
what better, what better place to start with the Bone Monster itself? That's right, I'm talking about Banjo.
I thought you were gonna say some garbage like Quag or something.
No, what's your opinion on Banjo?
Ugh.
Uh, I think the opinion on Banjo depends on when you get him. Because for me, I don't know why I got him early. I got him before I even got Pechidna, and that made me view Pechidna as a secondary one. But I know with Ryan, did it in elemental order and heard Banjo second, and it was just, wow, what's the point of this monster? Something else already did it.
Listen. That was day one. This is day like 93, and Banjo is my favorite monster on this island. So my you know changed a lot. I just
Oh,
love melody so much.
Yeah, but Pekin does the same thing.
Yeah, but
yeah, Pechidna is clearly the weaker one, though. Like honestly, like just like it clearly is the one that's like it's quieter. It's just meant to add a little punch to it. But punch doesn't work if you don't got a fist, and banjo fits in anyone's mouth.
what even?
I'm just saying.
Pretty much Banjo on this
It's
island.
awesome tap,
Your opinion on Banjo mostly depends on your opinion on that verse as a whole.
which most people consider the best verse of the song, so that's probably gonna be pretty good. I don't see it personally. I prefer the other verse, but whatever. Anyway, so okay, so overall, Banjo, he's a cool guy. His melodies, poggers, though. I feel like for Bone Island standards, he's not bad. Definitely nowhere near bad. But I'd say he's like not. I'd say he's about mid tier compared to what else Bone Island has to offer.
I can
Yeah,
understand that.
Though that's just Bone Island being like one of the best islands in the game, and not Banjo being bad in any way.
Yeah,
it's
pretty
just
much. Well, I mean, okay, well, we talked about Banjo, might as well talk about Pechidna, and allow us to transition into the other verse as well.
wow. Pechidna, more like throwaway, make throwaway. I don't like Pechidna. Is the one monster I don't like on this island.
Rip.
Uh, fair, but also I think it adds a lot because like the main thing it adds is it. Listen, like you don't notice how much space it takes up, and like if it's the intro, it's like that's the intro, and then everything builds up. But like my favorite moment in the entire song is the verse right, like the bar right before it transitions, because that's when Pechidna stops and it lets Toejammer just have the final doo wah. So like that isn't really Pechidna doing anything, but like Pechidna's like taking up space to make you be like, oh, when he leaves is like amazing, and also his design is my favorite design on the island. So like he's I I don't know if I'd say he's definitely I don't know. He's not that great of a monster simply because literally every single one of his tracks a different monster does at one point, pretty much. But I do think like the song is better with him than without him, which is
I,
Listen,
all you can ask for a monster.
you can say that for, like, literally everything on this island.
I think Pechidna is the one monster on this island that's like flawed sound wise because his vocal track, it's like trimmed very weirdly. It starts with the yacht and then ends with the yata yata. So every time the track stops, it's just super abrupt and then makes the whole pacing of the island sort of just complete break. And it's like, what?
That's fair, but I also think that also just helps with that Toejammer verse.
Yeah, but then whenever like that Uduk verse comes in later in the song, it's just like you just go like, what?
Okay, yeah. Like especially when he first comes in, it feels like he's not offbeat enough to bother you. I'm not saying he's offbeat, but it's like that timing is a bit off, like a few milliseconds off.
Yeah.
It's like it's I feel like it's more so like it feels like the way that ya to like the ja starts, like it feels like they did ya to ya first and then cut it up afterwards instead of doing ya to, because it feels like it's like ja, it's like a thing at the start for some reason, just from the transition, and that's the one thing that like really makes it kind of messy.
Messy, kind of like
Noggin.
Yeah, no, it's very
Yeah.
messy.
Noggin is the one monster I always forget is on this island, because like uh once everything comes in, you don't hear Noggin anymore really, like he's there, but you don't notice him.
Yeah, but Noggin, more like Poggin, because
He's
minimal per-
pogging right now.
minimal percussion
Look at it.
means Noggin has more room to actually do stuff.
I mean, that's true, but he also only has one track.
Yeah, and that track goes off.
Yeah, the only other percussion.
Yeah, when you can hear him in the intro, then Clackula comes in, and then like a bunch of other instruments come in, and like it's and then Hollow comes in and especially covers him up, and it's like he doesn't do anything wrong per se, but like I don't notice him really. So like I'm like he does a great job as just background bassist, but that's all he does.
I will. Fine. I will. I'm fine with
What
that.
about the
What about what?
What about the intro? He's like Space Island.
Yeah, my
What's that
favorite
mean?
Noggin Island
Because
space.
Noggin, Stog duet, and then things come in.
But the castle's also playing. There's no castle on Space Island.
Yes, there is. It's called
Snazers.
Indeed.
yes.
I mean, okay, think about it. Have you, besides Space Island, have you ever seen Deej and Snizer in the same place? By the way, Consonant isn't canon.
What do you?
Okay.
Yeah. In Coliseum in 4 years.
Yeah. And then guess what happens? Guess what? You know. Okay. What do Space Island and Coliseum have in common? That only those two islands have in common.
They have a repetitive song.
They don't have a castle.
He's got you there.
And so like here's the thing. Imagine a picture of Deej, you know, like you got your Deej, and then you put Snizer on top, and it's like, wow, look, the things, the Deej's speakers are like the door to the castle, and his nose is like the window.
Yeah, and his face reminds me of Flog's face because that's where we're moving on.
What?
Yeah, because he put Frog in the castle.
Wait, hold on. What were we talking about earlier?
Noggin.
We were talking about how much Noggin sucks and how he's number one worst on the island. Definitely, yep, that's definitely what we just all just agreed on.
Oh,
Anyways, Fwog is
Fog,
Pog.
more like Pog.
He is pogging.
Does Flog play in the first half?
No, he only plays in the Uduk verse.
Sick. That's why it's memorable.
Yeah,
They did not
he
have
owns that
good
verse with
practice.
his wows.
Dude, I love Fog on this island.
I
think
was feeling iffy on Fog before the album came out. I was like, whew, I don't know how they're gonna do this. I don't know what's gonna happen. There hasn't been a Fog in a long time, and they like to throw a lot. But then, just like everything on Bone Island, they completely surpassed any expectations.
dude, my favorite thing about Fog is that you're listening, and at the beginning it's like decent. You're like, oh, okay, Fog's just doing what every other thing's doing. It's just the da 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 da, just like Pechidna, Toe Jammer, literally everything. But then it pulls the rug out from under you when it does the high to low, just the da 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 da, and you're like, bro.
That's something that I never expected in any MSM island to do because that feels like such a medley thing in order to create harmony like that at random.
And he just continues doing that until the very last one, where he calms back down and just goes back to a final da 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 da. And then it goes into the freaking Uduk solo, and my god, the pacing of this song is so good.
This song is like structure-wise is one of the most non-MSM songs in all of MSM, and I live for it because it's so much more rhythmically interesting in every way. Like the way everything comes in, everything it's so like it's like it's ear candy.
Yeah.
Speaking of candy, let's talk about uh the the monster that if they eat candies, they will have to go to the dentist, and it's dentures.
Your transitions are the most absurd thing ever.
Are you telling me if they didn't eat too many candies on Halloween, they wouldn't go to those dentists from the Fairly Odd Parents? Because
Oh,
I think they would personally.
you said dentist and Halloween, and I thought you were gonna make a Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory reference.
Listen, all I'm saying is that Dentures is on this island.
Yes, they are on this island.
Don't worry, they'll make sure you know they're on the island.
Yeah, because they're fucking loud.
They're really, really loud. But you
Yeah.
know, it's not like Glowl Fire Oasis loud where you hear them, you're like, ow, please stop screaming at me.
It's just, oh, this is the monster I'm putting in the middle, so I don't have to get two of them.
Yeah, pretty much. Unless you.
And hey, it works with their design.
That is true. It's like they planned for it.
Yeah, they planned for it.
Dentures is Pog.
Dentures concept is very creative and something I also didn't expect MSM to do, but it also feels so MSM.
I just really love just the whole twist of it's an actual like twist. It's like a small one, but it still is one because like I think that's something that like MSM is great when they do it, but they I wish they did it more often. It's just like the kind of thing where it's like you see a thing, it's like what is this thing? I'm not sure what to expect to come out of this, and then whatever it is, it's never what you'd expect. It just surprises you. Like I feel like a lot of the times now, I'm not, I feel like there's plenty of times where like it's not saying that other things aren't surprising, but they're usually never surprising to this level at all.
Yeah. I can see the logic and mindset behind that. When I first listened to Bone, I definitely didn't expect Dentures to sound the way they do.
Yeah. Or for their mouths to open upwards.
I kind of could see that coming. I just didn't expect their voice to sound like that because you look at their design and they're all ulu, little like muffin things.
And they sound like gremlins, and they look like gremlins when their mouths open.
Their name is funny as well, just Dentures.
Yeah. That's very great in the song, too. I like what they do in that verse. It's like, it's like you got the three main things to pay attention to. Banjo is like the main bass. And I say Banjo and Wither and Picchidna all go together. It's like the main basis. And then Dentures is just like the constant droning. It's not a melody, but it basically is at the same time, but also isn't. Since it's like unpitched, it sounds like it's not. I don't think it's 100% unpitched, but it's mostly unpitched.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, Fangler is like the main melody, but it doesn't feel crowded because Fangler isn't like constantly droning on like not. He's like no 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 no. He's just like stopping and going as he pleases to just like really let things set in.
Mm. It's all in all very, very Pog. It's hard to think about the fact that that verse repeats twice, nothing is added, and nothing changes within the verse, but yet it's still so solid.
That's how you know you got a solid verse.
Like, when you look at it on the surface, it's got, like, the bare minimal.
Yeah, that's true.
But then they do a lot with that.
Speaking of bear minimal, let's talk about everyone's favorite bear monster, Thrumble. He has claws.
Yeah, and I was trying to think of what Penguin had, and I literally couldn't think of anything.
He has a mouth. Bears have mouths.
This is like
You know,
Thrumble's first island in like
9 years.
forever.
Definitely not 9 years. We're celebrating the 8th anniversary this year.
Listen, it's 9 if you flip it upside down.
69?
No.
Oh.
Anyway,
Thrumble was. I feel like it was very off-putting at first, but then people started warming up to it. Because, like, when it came out, people were like, this is kind of nothing. And then you listen to the song without Thrumble, and you're like, wow.
Yeah,
I
like,
take it back.
Thrumble really is like the mood setter. He's the one that really solidifies what that whole verse is. And that makes Thrumble essential. And I feel like that's like when the island was first like leaked and all the monsters were shown, we were all like, oh god, Thrumble could either be the worst or best thing ever. And like, it's not the best thing ever, but it's definitely a Thrumble done right. And it's probably Thrumble's best island.
the fact it's just 2 notes, I guess 3 notes, it's like so little, but it hits so hard. Because I think the main thing Thrumble does is just like that. The main thing the song has going for is just, again, how interesting everything. It's ear candy. Everything is always moving. You have ja ho hum. Yeah, it's like everything is always filling in all the blank spaces, so you always have some new thing to come into your ears, and like a lot of them don't fill in that space like after the first beat. That's like probably the most empty part, which is what makes Thrumble so essential, because like it sounds empty without him when you don't have something filling in the second bar. It's super simplistic, but it doesn't do much because it doesn't need to do much, because it knows everything else got everything covered, and it doesn't want to overwhelm you.
Oh no, it's not like it's weird, but I vibe with it. It's vibe worthy.
It's weird, but it feels Thrumble weird, and that's a weird kind of weird to hit. So like,
yeah, it's not
you
like
hit it, and I'm glad they hit it.
not like Thrumble's a very normal monster anyway.
Yeah, Thrumble's always been the big old weirdo, and that's why everyone loves him.
All right, what else do we got?
But yeah, these are all hard hitters except for Hollow.
Well, then let's talk about Hollow.
Hollow is another Thrumble situation, like where it's like the island comes out and you're like, oh, okay, this does jack. But then once you like, it's like because you don't really notice it too much, but once you've listened to the song enough, you notice exactly when it comes in, and it's just like a thing, like because there's within the verse the constant movement, but then from verse to verse it's a constant build up at the same time, and then Hollow is like the big part of the build up at the very like at basically the climax, which is when Hollow and Plinkajou come in. So he does play an important role, even though it's not very notable.
Especially when you have headphones on. Hollow with headphones is like ear candy.
Yeah. I also like the rhythm of it a lot.
Yeah. Hollow.
The instrument sounds so good.
I mean,
like
it's weird to think
percussion.
about. It's weird to think about the fact that the song just has not that much percussion.
Only 3.
Because you got freaking Clackula over here being like, yo, what if I'm like one of the best percussion monsters ever in the entire history of MSM?
Is that our transition?
Well, do you have anything else to really say for Hollow?
Yeah. Hollow Knight, Dab, lol. Alright,
Fuck,
Clackula.
you're right.
I was gonna say that. Okay, Clackula. Here's the thing. Clackula for a single element is like the most like busted single ever. It's like, but it's not like too much. It's not like that's kind of ridiculous. Too much for a single. Like I don't know how they do it, but he feels exactly like a single while also doing the kind of things a triple could only dream of doing. Like compare Clackula on Bone Island to Clamble on Plant
I
Island,
remember.
or Clamble on Plant Island, or anything on Plant Island. I guess Bogart.
Did you say Kongle on Plant Island?
I said, what's it called?
Pummel?
Pummel.
Okay, I thought I heard Kongle.
Yeah, listen, here's the thing. Clackula on Bone Island sounds way better than Pummel than Kongle on Plant Island.
Hey,
Yeah,
but
I
you should
agree
make
with it.
Bongo on Plant Island.
Okay, I'll do that next. Anyways, Clackula's got 3 tracks, and they are very interesting rhythmically because it's a castanet. Of course, it's going to be interesting rhythmically.
God, I remember when the song came, like, the song leaked, like we've been saying, and we saw Clackula's, like, we didn't know what it was. All we saw was its placement, and we were like, bro, what the fuck are they up to with this single element?
Yeah, it has 3 tracks, and it has a track that it's like for the 3 tracks, and one of them only plays once ever. It's I think it's the 3rd or 2nd track, only plays once in the entire song.
Yeah, and we thought it was gonna be ass because we had no idea what instrument it was gonna be.
Yeah, it's like again, it is a big part of the build-up because the song starts and then it's like pretty minimal because it's Noggin, Stog in the castle, and then it amps up with Clackula coming in and doing. It's like amping things up by going a lot faster than everything else playing, and it sets the tone great. And then afterwards, everything just pushes in with Wither coming in.
Is Clackula an authentic recording, or is it a? Because I don't think it sounds like a sound font.
I'd have no way of knowing.
I don't know, but I don't really care because either it sounds professional, whether it's a sound font or not. Either it's a really good sound font or it's a really good castanet player. Either way, one thing in common between those being really good, just like Clackula's really good.
One thing I want to mention about Clackula, even though it doesn't really have an impact with the series, is that its animation is so alive.
I mean, it's literally alive. It's got 2 hands that are alive.
It oozes so much personality through the animations, just the skittish but also really enthusiastic way it moves.
Yeah, it just oozes personality overall. Also, just want to say, like, every person out there who like puts dresses and like whatever all over their monster, like, oh yeah, oh this monster needs to be wearing a suit or something. It's like this is how you're supposed to do it. Like that isn't. It's not really. He's not really wearing like a fancy suit, but they do a great job of showing that his body resembles one just to really set in his personality.
It's all implied rather than just outright.
Yeah, exactly. And it's beautiful that way.
Heck yeah.
Clackula on one island has been better than Pango's entire existence.
I will not fight that, because how do you fight truth?
See, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Uh, I'd say Clackula's entire existence is better than most monsters. Like one island is better than most monsters' entire existence, just because like how can you even have an impact close to Clackula's impact on this island? Like, and like it doesn't even like the only single that even comes close is Mammoth.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, like combine every other single element, and like obviously the other singles would win out if you combine like oh yeah, Toe Jammer, Kana, Tweedle, like even the Ethereals, like obviously that would win. Those are better all if all combined better than Clackula. But the fact that's even a question just says a lot. He's definitely honestly, I'd say he's 100% comparable to the ethereal singles on their levels of just pogging.
And that's for a percussion monster as well. Like,
Clackula's first island's better than Rebro's first island.
I feel like Clackula's first island is better than like 90% of the cast.
Yeah, Clackula. He's not even the best monster on this island, but he sets the tone perfectly. It's one of the first monsters you're gonna get, and you might be feeling iffy on what this island's gonna be. Any issues you may have been thinking probably almost instantly cleared just from getting Clackula.
Yeah. Wow. I'm looking at the list of monsters we have left, and all of these are really, really pog, except for debatably one.
And you know what? I know it's not that one, but let's talk about Toejammer.
Toe Jammer.
Toejammer, honestly, Toejammer was the second monster I got when I got the Noggin, then Toejammer, because 3 seconds, then 15 seconds, and 30 seconds. So like, why not? But like when I got Toejammer, I was worried at first because he just says do do and like how I feel about long notes, Toejammer. You know how
Psychic
that's
guy wins.
the terrors I've been through in the past by Toejammer's hand. But like I was really worried. But like the do didn't go actually being rhythmically interesting. Well played, Toejammer. And then everything else came in together, and I was like, oh yeah, this is the best Toejammer. I don't know if it's the best, but like it definitely it worried me, and then it didn't once I realized, oh my god, this is just good.
Do what do what do.
Like I said with Kidna, it's got that one part, and again, that's my favorite part of the entire song. Honestly, just like the way everything just stops for Tojam to get his little doo-wah in. It's like, I don't know, it's just hits so hard.
It's so weird because it's just Toejammer doing normal, weird long notes, but it works so much better than its past attempts of doing it.
It's because it's composed extremely well.
It's so weird just hearing long notes and composed extremely well in the same sentence.
Especially with Toejammer.
Yeah. Toejammer kind of fills out the rest of the trio of the monsters that do exactly the same thing. Picchidna, Quag, and Toejammer.
Mm-hmm.
And they make
Pretty
like
much
the
almost the
little
entirety of the
choir out
first
of it.
verse is pretty much done.
Yeah, except for, the
A
main
few
thing.
obvious exceptions. Well, I'd say next up, let's talk about the number one spot. You watched Space Island. You
Ah.
saw this thing.
Plinkajou.
Island.
Alright,
Yeah, you watched how much we loved Plinkajou on Space Island.
let's talk about Stog.
This Stog is really good.
It's unlike any other Stog ever, and that's extremely satisfying.
It's like a return to Continent Stog's first track, because we almost never have anything like that. Like, what other Stogs are like that? Nothing really. It's just the return of a slower Stog that lets it be able to take a melody more so, and but like at the same time, it has a lot of aspects of the newer Stogs. It's like the best of both. It's like, hey, what kind of Stog should this be? Should it be like this? But it's like, why not both? And then it's both, and then it's like like and it's like it plays in the opening, and it's like it sets the tone immediately. You're like, wow, the song is amazing. and then it has its second and third track, which are like honestly you don't hear them that well in the song, but like rhythmically they are so amazing. Doo 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 doo. And the animation is also really good because he like hunches down, he's
He
like
does like a
hopping around.
splits.
You know what he's doing?
What?
He's just going in the pose of that one cat video where it runs across the floor, then hits the camera.
Uh, you know how accurate that is.
It's like I don't know if we might honestly. I don't know if we're gonna even give Stog. We probably won't give Stog #1 spot just simply because he's gotten #1 spot like 3 times now. But he's definitely in the top 3.
Oh, absolutely. I don't even think of anything else that could even remotely beat Stog for top 3.
Well, I know someone else who's gonna be in the top 3 with him.
Who?
Dipsters.
Kana.
Oh wait, you're right.
I mean.
I mean, Kana really pops off on this island.
Okay, you know how I was talking about my thing with Toe Jammer and how they meet Iffy on the island? The next monster I got was Kana, and that's the one that instantly washed all of my worries away. This is probably my favorite Kana of all time. It's so next level. It's like just so good. It sounds so good. It hits every single beat of what I want out of a Kana. It does bum ba da dum bum like it's supposed to, because like that's how Kana is supposed to. That's classical Kana. That's what Kana is. Not any of this da 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 blah, blah, blah stuff. It's just good old Kana. And then afterwards, it's like Fire Oasis comes close, but this one isn't a good song, so I like it more.
It reminds me a lot of Cave Island Kana, which is also one of my favorite Kanas, and it also ties together the fact that Bone Island is Cave Island's, like,
Oh yeah.
Wait,
And
did
it
you say
also, once again,
Firehaven?
the island doesn't have any issues.
what?
Wait, what?
What was the one you were comparing it to?
Cave
Uh,
Island.
Oh, Cave Island. For some reason, I heard that as Firehaven.
Yeah, my favorite Kana, Firehaven.
yeah, don't you know Firehaven is Bone Island?
Listen, this Kana's epic because it does triplets in like the absolute most like perfect way. Because it's like everything else is doing everything else, but then Kana doing triplets doesn't completely destroy the rhythm of that verse. It just does it very flawlessly. Unlike Gobbligord.
It's like Turtonishmo.
Yeah, it's like Turtonishmo.
I know I've heard some people complaining about this Kana, but I'm gonna point out the complaint and then just say this is a dumb complaint. They're like, Kana is bad on this island because it takes up the spotlight, and it takes the spotlight again, and I'm tired of Kana, and so it's because I don't want the same monster and over again, that means it's bad. And it's like, I mean, fair, but also one, the this Kana is nowhere near the amount of islands that Mammoth is on, and two, no, I don't care if I'm tired of seeing Kana. If this is what Kana provides, Kana can be on every other island. I don't care. If this is what it's gonna do for me, sure.
It's not even the island's fault. That's just the planning.
Yeah, It's like I don't get being like this Kana sucks because it takes up an important spot in the song. It's like what? Okay, fine. I think Hollow should take that melody instead.
No, I hate Hollow. Hollow takes up the spot like that we've already heard in the past of the song.
You're right.
That argument is just completely just what are you talking about?
Yeah, so like I understand getting the Kana whiplash. I get it. Like that's how everyone felt about like Cave Island and Party Island when all we got was those monsters for like 8 months in a row. But like the whiplash is gonna go away because eventually the islands are not gonna be coming out. There's gonna be other stuff coming out, and you're gonna forget about it. So I'm not just temporary annoyance is not gonna affect any rankings of monsters. So that's why I definitely say Kana very, very likely chance to be in the top 3 in my opinion. It sounds really good. It returns to the second. Technically that song is returning to the first verse. It does not sound like it in the slightest because Kana is such a different from what the first verse is doing, like rhythm wise. It's all the rhythm. It's all down to the rhythm. It's like all the same bases, but just something else. It's like doing the triplets and stuff, and that just makes it feel completely different.
Oh my
And then it
god,
goes
I'm
up.
looking at the top 4. These are not top 4, the last 4.
We've said this
Okay.
for every time we've gotten rid of one. It's like, oh my god, I'm looking at the list right now, and it's pretty.
Yeah, and it just gets worse and worse because, like, let's talk about, you know what, okay, let's talk about Plinkajou now, just to get it out of the way.
I'll let everyone else talk first, and then I'll say my opinion.
Plinkajou is good until it's not, and by that I mean it's good as a monster, bad as a quad. That's all I can really say about it. Its impact to the song is minimal yet essential.
Yeah, that's pretty much my opinion. Plinkajou doesn't do a lot, but the things that it does do is like,
Yeah, again, like I said earlier, it's the Hollow Plinkajou duet that is like the big climax of the first verse of everything coming in at once, and also like animation wise, it's great, and also like the I think probably everyone's like favorite thing about it that just makes the cum spew from their ears is just the part like it's the part in its second track where it's like where it like m- misplays and all like dun 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 dun.
yeah, it's like, has a slight, ever so slight, just spicy hint of dissonance.
Yeah, but here's the thing, it fits on this song. You know, it's like before anyone calls us a hypocrite, uh, on this song, it fits because it's it's Bone Island. It's called Bone Island. Have you seen the island design? Have you seen the critter? It's meant to be this, not happy-go-lucky island called Cloud Island. So don't just be comparing that.
Yeah.
In the song, you don't even notice the dissonance, unlike that monster.
That's because this monster isn't very loud. It's like not quiet, but it's not ear blasting loud, which is an upside. I don't like how that I have to say that, but it is an upside. And it sounds amazing. Its sound is great. Again, it's very, very simple. I'd say the one complaint I have is that at times, if you're listening to the song on loop, the dissonance after like probably the second or third loop of the song, like when it plays again, it's like it gets annoying that it does it every single time it plays the second track, and that's the only one downside I have for it. And again, like I said, quad wise, awful impact to the song. Doesn't do anything important enough to be a quad design, and the design doesn't look very like it doesn't look boned. It's like he has bones, I guess. It looks like a Dawn of Fire quad, and, and that's a great. They look great in Dawn of Fire the quads, but like, and I can excuse Dawn of Fire quads for being working poorly as quads because that's not what they were designed for. But like, this was designed specifically to be the Bone Island quad, so they kind of threw a little bit with it.
It's a great monster, but it's not the first choice you should do for quad.
Yeah, speaking of the first choice for what the quad should be, Fangler.
Yeah, Fangler's my favorite quad. Dude, remember when we were worried about Fangler on this island?
I mean,
We
It
had a
was
right to be.
justifiably so, but
yeah,
the best
okay.
part about worry is that when they surpass your expectations, it feels amazing.
Okay, now I'm just gonna talk about it first because everyone knows me as the Fangler guy, and it'd be weird if I didn't. So, as the official Fangler spokesman, this does in fact check off all the boxes to be a proper Fangler and is the best adult Fangler because the competition is not very good. But like once again, down to the rhythm. The best part of this Fangler to me.
What?
So like the tracks are just like it's just right away just na 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 na. But like when it stops and the transition to it playing again, that in the middle of the track is ear candy. Just a nah. It's like a slight slide into it because that's what they get. It's all one track, and it's like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I like to hear. My boy Fangler.
The second time it plays, it doesn't exactly start on the first beat. It's like a little bit
Slides
before.
in.
Yeah, I know.
What I'm saying.
What? You're not allowed to say.
No. Okay, yeah.
But yeah, Fangler is Pog.
Fangler has.
There's a reason people call that the Fangler verse a lot.
Listen, here's the thing. Fangler, this Fangler, still doesn't even come anywhere close at all to Continent Fangler because nothing ever will. But I wasn't disappointed, and I was expecting to be disappointed, and I wasn't, and I'm glad.
Happy
But
ending.
speaking of disappointment, let's talk about everyone's least favorite monster, the worst monster of all
Oh,
time,
jeez.
Uduk. Grr.
How could you even say that to my favorite monster on this island?
He only has one eyeball. How can he see?
He trades.
He's the ultimate seer.
Okay, that's
Uduk is literal, like, eargasmly amazing.
It sounds like individually, it's like, bro, this is the most majestic thing I've heard in my life.
yeah. But you know when it doesn't sound that majestic?
What?
When when people for some reason like make duets and like or like in remixes have it paired with monsters that are that play notes that are like that would be dissonant. And
Like Rumble.
yeah. So like just a word of advice. Plinkajou and Thrumble don't sound too great together, so I'd avoid that if I were you.
Yeah, Plinkajou. Well, nothing to do
I
with
mean,
it.
shut up. Whatever his name is, I forgot his name. Oh, Uduk, yeah.
Listen, that's what this song does great, is it allows Uduk to shine while putting everything else that would suck with it just go to the wayside. And that's something that, like, you wouldn't expect from BBB, you know?
Yeah. It's all just build up together. Like it comes in with Kana play. I'm pretty sure Kana still plays, and it's playing at the same time. Like the second time Kana, it plays the second time Kana plays, and then Quag is doing his amazing shtick, and then Kana leaves and he gets his own little solo, and you're like, yes, this is what I like to hear.
I wish it was loud.
Uduk is great, but here's my one complaint of a missed opportunity that I've been thinking since day one. In its animation, they should have had it have a part where it like sends its eye down its horn and it like swoops through the air into the other hole and then goes back up.
I think
Yeah, like epic Cybop.
is there still that weird looping issue where just half of the Uduk solo verse is just cut off? Because I hate that. It's
I
like
don't think so.
it was like the most not satisfying thing about Bullen Island is the fact that sometimes the Uduk verse would just cut off early and go back to the Fangler verse.
Last time I heard Bone Island, it would go on to the next verse after Uduk plays its higher note, so I think it's good.
Alright,
I
good.
think I'm pretty sure it's a case of the first loop, it doesn't skip it, and I hate that skip too, because it also removes my favorite part of the song, which is the toe jammer part, like everything stops in the doo-wah.
Yeah.
It cuts that out when the song loops. Or like I think it might be randomly, but I'm pretty sure it's once the song loops. But that's like the one downside is that weird glitch that happens when it loops. But besides that, it's amazing.
Wow. I just realized what we saved for last.
Yeah, Noggin, Toe-Jammer, Kana, Clackula, Stog, Fangler, Dentures, Hollow, Picchidna, Thrumble, Wither, Banjo, Uduk, and Plinkajou. Alright, guys, what's your opinion on all those monsters at the same time?
They all fucking suck compared to Wither.
Yeah. Wither is number one.
Wither is hard, like hard, far above everything else. Number one.
I did not know where you were going with that sentence when you said Wither is hard and just
Dude,
made
I
a
wish Wither was hard.
Wither is the one that should have been the quad because its sound is like literally like bro.
The entire song.
Yeah.
Its first track is just one of the most amazing things ever. Just the do 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 do.
And the
And
way
it's like,
that track plays along with like, because when that track comes in, that's also when Thrumble comes in, and hearing those two together, like, hear it for the first time, you can't get that experience again. Just hearing Wither and Thrumble play together for the first time, listening to Bone Island.
yeah, like it's again, it's the main part of the build-up of the song because it starts with the Stog solo, Clackula comes in building up, then Wither is the big of sound. It's like, oh my god, I need to get earplugs so the hum stops leaking out. It's just like so good. And then after it's like, I could just let Banjo be the bassist, but that's gay. So I'm gonna do dun 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 dun. It's like I think my favorite part is just the dun 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 dun. It's like that part is just like it makes that verse honestly. It's so good.
Like, how did they even balance this thing so well?
And you know how else they balance it? Then afterwards, Wither plays with Uduk and Kana in that verse, and like it sounds like it takes a completely different tone with them, and it's like the same thing, but it doesn't feel like it, but it also does at the same time. And it's like beautiful. And also, this is how you do a cousin monster, not just make Pom Pom purple and give her a tuba. It's
No.
like, oh yeah, hey, this is a cousin of Wisp, so it's gonna have
Yeah.
the basic general stuff. It's got tons of different features. Like the hands are completely different with the fingers, the face. The face is not just the exact same face 3 times in a row. The like
The body shape is completely different.
and the main attraction is its amazing, great huggers way. It's like, the most creative way I could have imagined to play this kind of sound and also to fit perfectly with Bonon is just have a giant skeleton that's also a slight callback to decorations that resemble the skeleton, and also the skeleton taps its tail to the beat because they didn't have to do that, but they did do it. And then it's just like then it has spines on its back, and using its big old finger that it just plucks on there. It flicks them basically. And it's like such a creative way to do this kind of sound because this kind of sound is a sound that's hard to make interesting in design, but
Yeah.
they did it very well.
What even is its instrument?
We don't know.
It's a harp.
It's a zither.
It's a
Even though they're literally like the same thing, but you know.
Listen, here's the thing: zithers are harps. Not all harps are zithers. That's what I'm saying. And here's the thing: the concept called it a harp, so I'm calling it a harp too. I
Alright,
trust BB more than the MSM wiki.
fair enough. But I still like the idea that's a zither.
Yes, which is also a harp.
Same
Anyway,
difference.
yeah,
Alright, but
but
what's your opinion about dipsters on this island?
dipsters are. Wait, no, we didn't even talk about the island itself yet.
Well, we're not done yet, since you guys wanted to talk about another special aspect that makes the song really pog.
You're
Oh,
right. The critter.
Well, the critter on this island is absolutely amazing, so I'm glad you mentioned
this
that.
is this is the SSS class tier critter. This is the best critter of all of them. None of them even compare. Oh, honestly, something that it's honestly worth mentioning on this island?
What?
Uh, the ambience.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
it's like ultra super spectral, and it fits the island's theming. So that's the island's strongest aspect. Is it sets it's similar to space in a way where it's like it sets the theme and it hammers it down in every aspect.
It sets such a strong mood. Which is funny because bone isn't really a mood, but yet they still captured it so well.
I can listen to Cloud. I can listen to like it's an island. This is I was like, oh, this is Bone Island. I'm gonna go to the Bone Zone.
So, dude, alright.
Also, what's that?
You
But
guys should talk about your castle base now.
um,
Because I know you think the castle base on this island is pog.
Listen, I'm the advocator for that. I don't know how Abed feels about the castle considering its magical castle sound.
Oh, right.
the sound font sucks, but that doesn't mean the sound font is sucks, but it sucks in the oh this is boring way, not in the ow 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 my ears way. So I'll give it a pass because the composition is what matters in scenarios like this.
It goes so well with everything in the song, which is what a bass should do. But honestly, the bass kind of sucks compared to when it first came out and it was the Fairy Island.
Yeah, I really wish they didn't make it used to be such an interesting rhythm. You know how it would like stop playing like a bar before everything else because it was at a different speed.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, because they're different BPMs. So it moves amazingly awfully. Anyways, so I for me, one of her parts is like the exact intro is you have Stog doing his do 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 do, and the castle literally just plays Stog's notes but on one octave instead of doing arpeggiated. But like just not being arpeggiated somehow makes it sound completely different. It sounds like it's different notes, even though it's obviously not. And then just like it helps set the drone and tone. It's like
Drone. Why?
and then it's got its second track where it does the funny up and down.
That.
I, here's the thing. I can't listen. Here's the thing. Uh, wait. Spoilers. All I'll say is I composed it long before, but Micro Provolone Dave on
Yeah.
Fermion also has a similar up and down at one point in its very long track.
Wow, bro. Now people are gonna do predictions for the Permian Island.
Guys, this is Permian prediction. And just Beatlemese. I mean Botlemese. That's Permian Palace official prediction. Wait.
Cut that out.
Anyway. Uh feel like we don't even have to do this for this island, but we gotta say opinions of the full song.
S tier.
Literally one of the best islands in the entire game, without question.
Easily the best island in one.
I mean, for now.
Yeah, you're right, because Coliseum is kind of like the best thing ever.
Listen, for now can mean one of two things. Either them making a new island, or more likely, them finding a new way to ruin this island. And by that I mean adding dipsters, because dipsters are being ass.
Was I supposed to end the video there?
I don't know. It's up to you. I don't really care. I'm just saying.
I like to imagine you keep going because it's just funny.
I am still going.
Listen, okay, to be honest though, I could genuinely see them adding dipsters, and I'm praying and hoping that they don't, because that could really ruin the song, because this song is perfect. It's complete. All of the pieces of the puzzle are in place, and it's a beauty.
If they do add dipsters, I just hope they at least make them good.
If they
However
add
unlikely
dipsters,
that is.
if they had dipsters, we're lucky because this video came out before, so we don't have to taint it.
Yeah. What if they had dipsters tomorrow?
Well,
Like
They added
they skip psychic and fairy and just go right to bone.
you know what? You make a good point. But for that, I have one suggestion. Wait, I don't know what I'm saying. I wasn't thinking. I was thinking. I'm gonna think of a joke as I come along. But I got to that point and then I didn't have a joke.
That's amazing.
But it's okay because I've got a bottle of Aunt Jemima butter rich syrup, natural butter flavor with other natural flavors, contains no butter.